I've been putting this video off for probably 6 months, just simply because it's such a good video and I want to get as much information as possible. That way it's easy to understand. And I think personally, if you're that guy, girl out there who just wants the most out of your truck, car, SUV, whatever it is, this upgrade I'm going to go over with you is really necessary. And front and center, yes, I did add a winch to my truck. Video coming soon on that. Also, I did let you guys know I was able to get my M84s. Video coming soon on that. Lastly, I just left Josh to get this put on. So now this will help with all the issues I've been having with my exhaust. By the way, Josh did tell me I forgot to tighten one of my clamps. So I really was going to get this regardless because I want this black tip. And man, it looks so good, guys. Banks came through for me, guys. Yes. Yes. And if you do have weight loss program, you don't necessarily need the Banks exhaust, but I just wanted it because of this black tip. And I think the fitment is just a little bit better than my old exhaust, so it worked out. But that's not why you came to this video. The reason why you're here is because of this right here. It's just under my cab. You guys see right there? This is one of the upgrades I highly recommend if you're someone looking for longevity out of your car, truck, SUV, doesn't matter. This insane diesel oil bypass can filter down to 1 micron, but on top of that, the Lorenzo oil is the other piece to this puzzle here. So this oil has TS2 guard, which is basically tungsten. And this basically adds a sacrificial layer to the internals of your engine. Now you guys see here 5W40, 0W40. I did buy this for my wife's car. And check this out, I just put the hood up for you guys so it'll make it a little bit easier for me. I just got done getting this installed over at Insane Diesel. Now you might be wondering, this is a gas engine, this is not a diesel Lamborghini Urus. But they do have what's known as the X1 Extreme Oil Filter. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that Lamborghini wanted this to fit here because you guys see, they already had everything built for this thing and it fit like a glove. And you guys see the line. So literally we just have a line coming out of the oil filter for pressure, comes into the filter, goes out back into the oil fill. Now I'm doing testing right now. I'm not recommending you go out and do this to your Lamborghini if you watch this video. However, this has like a vacuum line in it. So I just want to see what happens before I start offering this. So I'm testing it for you guys. I'm actually doing a cross-country trip with this thing. And I figured I want to show you guys and prove to you just how good this oil and the bypass is. So without further ado, let me show you guys the health report on my truck. Now this is my very first oil analysis. Unfortunately, I did not get one before I switched over to the Lorenzos and added the oil bypass. Now at the time my truck had 24,490 miles on it. Today it has nearly 40,000 miles, okay? You guys see on this oil, I put 4,050 miles on it. And you guys see, I do have an exclamation point, which means I need to take a look at something. So that's the nice thing about doing an oil analysis. If there's any issues, it will show up in your oil analysis. You can even catch problems before they become big. That being said, because of the Lorenzo's TS2 guard, do you guys see the wear metals? Like seriously, look at this. My iron is 9 parts per million. Now I know some of you guys are thinking that's only 4,050 miles. Some of you guys are doing your oil changes really soon from this point, right? At 4,000 miles, my oil is still really healthy based off of the wear metals. And it gets better. You guys see here silicone. So quick backstory. Most of you guys know around this time, I did do weight loss program. So I had my engine taken apart. We had the intake manifold, intake out. And so it was all on the ground. So figure about a week or so, we put the truck back together and we drove it. And then we pretty much did an oil change. So that's why the silicone is a little high. So we understand that. And up here, they basically said, just check, you know, around the clamps, intake, all that stuff, just to make sure there's no issues. And again, that's how we know that this was the problem. But what I want you guys to see, I'm going to talk about sodium in the next one I show you guys, but look at the additives and the oil.
look at the viscosity of the oil. So this is a 15W40. Viscosity is still high, and that was at 100 degrees Celsius, okay? Total base number for this oil is 15.87. As I just said, most of you guys are looking to do your oil change probably within the next 1,000 miles or so. I don't have to do my oil change probably for like another 15,000 miles. So I can easily go 20,000 miles simply because the TS2 guard in the Lorenzo oil is doing its job. Now, most of you guys remember, once I did weight loss program on my truck, I did take a 6,000 mile trip cross country, and I was towing 10,000 pounds. And the main reason why I did that drive was simply because I wanted to test the oil, obviously test out the tune to make sure I didn't have any drivability issues, which is why I recommend all these things to you guys, because I've tested it. So here is where we did the drive, okay? So just so you understand this, when I changed the oil, it had 24,490 miles. Now I did get an inspection on this oil, so I just sent in a sample just to test the oil. So at that time, it had 31,154 miles. So it has 6,755 miles. I can safely tell you, I towed 6,500 miles on this oil, okay? Now, you guys see where the wear metals are? I have a little bit more mileage compared to this one, and the wear metals are the same. Now, when I changed the oil here, I was taking out the Lorenzo, but before this, I had the dealer's oil. Now, I have the Lorenzo changed twice into my truck. So you're gonna see something here. So you guys see the other wear metals. I'm not even gonna try to say this word here, sorry. Just don't know how to say that. But aluminum, so you guys did see aluminum did show up in this one, but again, the truck was under load towing, and remember, this is around the winter time too, so we were driving cross country, so I wasn't able to keep my truck warm, so we hit some 20-degree areas when we stopped. And of course, that's why I was gonna have a little bit of wear because of the cold, and I'm running a 15W40 here. Now, as you go down, you guys see the contaminants. In the wintertime, you're gonna see a higher sodium because of road salt. So we did drive a few places where they were salting the roads, so it did show up here, but remember, it did not see that here. Silicone is obviously normal, and I want you guys to understand something. The viscosity on this oil, with more miles towing, 15.8. This should show you just how good this oil is. The oil is at its viscosity level after nearly 7,000 miles. And you guys see the total base number? The total base number is at 10.84 from 15.87. And again, this is towing over 90% of the time on this oil. Also, you guys see the water, oxidation, 15.7. I mean, we're still great here. The oil bypass is doing its job. The oil is doing its job. It's protecting the engine, okay? Now, you guys see on this column here, right? We did get an exclamation point. Now, pause for a second. Do you guys remember when I did the lift on my truck? When we got back home from California, I took my truck out back and I was just driving around, just testing out the lift. You guys probably remember some of the footage I did. And I literally was getting shots, videos, so I can send it off to McGoy's because I was obviously excited about my lift. Now, I was probably back here for about 5 hours. The truck was idling for probably maybe 3 of those hours. I was stopped a few times. And then I took my wife back out too because I wanted her to feel the truck on the road, like on going off road basically, and just showing her how stable it was and how comfortable it was with the new suspension. So fuel dilution did show up here. And in that video, I said to you guys, before I do an oil change, I always go off road because I want to get, some fun out of my system before I change my oil, because it's not really good to let your truck idle and drive at low speeds for long periods of time. Even with your truck having weight loss, you still want to be mindful of this because fuel dilution is going to kill your oil. Because of the oxidation that biodiesel brings in oil, you have to be certain that you don't idle your truck. Remember this. Biodiesel has different standards, ASTM standards, I think it's ASTM, compared to R99 and diesel number 2. So that fuel does oxidize within 30 days. And if you don't know this, the manufacturers recommend you pull your tank and drain biodiesel out if you're not looking to drive your truck for the next 30 to however long, basically, and put in a diesel number 2. Now I'm going to show you guys one last thing. I know there's going to be some people out there who are going to have an opinion about this, and I'm going to just show you. Just because you change your oil at 4,000, 5,000 miles, let me show you a truck without the oil bypass and without the Lorenzo oil with TS2 guard. This is not my truck. You guys see this is a 2023 Ram 2500 6.7 Cummins. Sodium level is very high. There's a few other things in here that you have to be mindful of. Now, this truck does not have the Lorenzo oil or the Insane Diesel oil bypass. Now, they're running a Valvoline Premium Blue 5W40, which is actually a good oil, okay? So they put 4,032 miles on this oil. So in case someone wanted to try to pick apart my oil analysis, well, here's one for you right here. Do you guys see the wear metals for iron? 79 parts per million, okay? 4,000 miles. Do you guys remember what mine was? 9. Also, chrome showed up in here. And look at this, aluminum, 57 parts per million. Now, around this time, it's possible that, well, no, this is probably not around the winter time, but you guys see right here, sodium level is so high. And this is where the oil analysis comes into play. Depending on where you live at, it might be a good idea just to check once you leave the wintertime season, because you might need to change your oil because of the sodium levels in your area. Okay? Now look at this, 4,032 miles. The total base number is 2.98. That's insane. Now, TAN is total acid number. And then this didn't show up on my first one, but you guys will probably saw that. You can go back and look at it. Look at the water levels, 448. And it's not terrible, obviously, but you know, look at the soot level, 1.1. I didn't even show up at a half of a percent, basically, on soot on mine with basically 10,000 miles on it. Okay? So what am I trying to say here? You can obviously choose not to buy the oil analysis, and I understand that. It is expensive, right? And there are competitors on the market, which some people have went out and tested and said, I decided to go with the Lorenzo oil and of course their oil bypass through Insane Diesel simply because it did filter a lot better. The manufacturer's job is not to build you a perfect truck. What we see today is we want as many screens, because that's important, and we want as much comfort features as possible, because guys and girls are just trading in and out of trucks every 1 to 2 years. Even with this Lamborghini Urus I have, I put the oil bypass on there just simply because I can turn it on for you guys right now if I wanted to, and I can undo the cap so you guys can see the oil draining back into there. The oil is coming out of that bypass and it's getting filtered. So any grime inside the engine is getting cleaned out. And I've already put a few hundred miles on that engine oil right now. And maybe I'll have to do a follow-up on it to show you guys. That oil is going to look the same as when it came out of the bucket. So I hope this video was helpful. I'm not trying to sell you something. A lot of people asked me in the past, hey, can you do some videos around upgrades? And so I started doing that. And I started with Barbeques because Barbeques I've always known as a well-known company. They do great things. They have a huge campus. They do a lot of testing. Insane Diesel is another great company. Like John Lorenzo started the company, and the guys running it now, they know a ton about engines. They pulled apart my Lamborghini Urus, never seen one before a day in their life, and actually found an oil leak in that thing. So I gotta get that fixed, unfortunately. And luckily I have it under warranty, so we're good. So with this Insane Diesel oil bypass with Lorenzo oil, I highly recommend it. I truly believe this is the recipe for that last truck you're looking to buy. It's cheap insurance, and you guys see trucks are failing before 100,000 miles. I think that adding that sacrificial layer of wear on your engine with the TS2 guard will help prevent a lot of the cam lifter issues that you're seeing on these engines. Even if you have a gas truck, this is still going to help filter out all the contaminants, and it's going to allow you to extend the oil change. There's no reason for you to change the oil if you have a high total base number. And that's where the peace of mind comes at with this oil analysis. We're not out here trying to tell you to buy this and change the oil every 5,000 miles. We have guys who are hot shotters who are running their bypass, running the TS2 guard, going 50,000 miles on the oil. And the total base number is still high. You know, even for those guys who change their oil every year, why are we doing that? The oil analysis will tell you if you need to or not, but that was just probably manufactured because oil companies want to sell more oil. So you could do whatever you want to do, but I'm going to trust the oil analysis because this is actually showing me what's going on inside my engine internally. So I hope this video was helpful. Be sure to share this, and if you would like to buy any of these products, you can support me and my website. And hopefully in the future, I will have some discounts, but I will say there's not a lot of margin with Insane Diesel because their products are built to a high quality. I've been running the oil bypass in my truck now for almost 20,000 miles, and I've had no issues with it. And you guys see it's doing its job.